Like, I don't know. This is looking real 1950s. Hi everyone, it's Jo. Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, I'm a spiritual advisor and I give advice about spirituality, and I talk about metaphysics and spirituality on my channel and other things like dreams and vlogging and whatnot. Things that revolve around my life I also post on here. So I guess it's kind of like a kitchen sink type of channel, but it's mostly dedicated to spirituality. I don't know why I went off the deep end like that, but yeah, that's me. So anyway, today's video, I actually got the idea from Hitomi. Love her. So she did a video like titled Spiritual Advice I Wish I Knew, or like something like that. And I was like, wow, that's a really good idea. I didn't watch her video. In fact, I refused to watch her video until I made this one, which is what I'm doing right now. And then I'll see, what happens what happens after I upload this, and if we have any like sort of similarities, and what we wish we knew before we started our spiritual journeys. And yeah, so I'm really excited for this video because I don't know, like, if you don't know like much about the spiritual community, like misinformation gets passed around daily, and it's quite funny, because it's just like we're supposed to be like this community that's like awake and everything, and not giving in to like I don't know, regimes and corrupt governments and whatnot. So we're like this like kind of community that's supposed to be like really aware of like societal situations and circumstances, but also like internal situations and circumstances. But a lot of people, when they first start out, fall into like this weird area of the spiritual community that is horrible, a horrible, scary, oh my god, I moved the camera. It's a horrible, scary, dark place. And I hope that none of you, I know all of you will experience, but I hope that none of you stay there, because it sucks genuinely, and it's so hard to find your way out and actually find people that actually know what they're talking about and actually, I don't know, contribute to like this field or whatnot. It's like feel like it's like a science, but it kind of is, like, because the spiritual community takes in a lot from philosophy and stuff, so I decided to do this video because I know that there are a lot of things that I wish I knew when I started my spiritual journey, that I hope that I can save people from experiencing, because it's such a rough thing to go through. And what we'll talk about, my experiences personally, we'll talk about that later when I get into the list, but there's about like 6 or 7 things that I really want to talk about, like about the spiritual community and what I wish I knew. So we'll get into those 6 or 7 things. I think it might be 7, but it might be 6. You'll know by the title. Before we get into this video though, it would really help me out if you like the video and subscribe. You can like choose like the video after. I'll remind you at the end of the video if you actually want to like it because you like it or not. Yeah, help me out, because I'm a small channel right now, and it would really help me grow if you like the video. And subscribed, because no one who watches my videos is subscribed, so yeah. Anyway, let's just get right into it. The first thing that I wish I knew before starting my spiritual journey is that reading is fundamental. Literally, if there's one thing that you take from this video, it is to read for yourself, research for yourself. And it's just because, well, first and foremost, spirituality requires a lot of self-analysis and self-reflection. And it's much easier to do that when you're informed on a lot of these topics, like mindfulness. You'll understand it better when you actually read about it, instead of just telling you, like having someone tell you what mindfulness is. There's different types of ways that you can practice mindfulness, and so if one person practices it like a certain way, they'll teach you that certain way, but they'll exclude all the other ways because all they know is what works for them, right? But your spiritual journey is like for you. It's catered for you, towards you. So you need to figure out methods that you kind of like, I guess, navigate towards. I was having a hard time finding that word, but yeah, you need to find, methods that you navigate towards. And I'm not just talking about mindfulness. I'm talking about like meditation, shadow work, all these really, really intense things that a lot of people will just kind of like, give one and done. Maybe you're even 2 or 3, but there's thousands of ways that you can practice these things, if you even want to practice them, that you won't get anywhere else unless you read a lot. So yeah, reading is fundamental and part of your spiritual journey. You'll have to read a lot of books, a lot of articles, a lot of poetry too. You'll just have to be well read in general for your spiritual journey. And of course, like, reading is not like the only thing that determines your spiritual journey. It's just more like when you're confused on a concept, or if you have like an epiphany and you want to make sure that, or you just want to see if someone else had that thing, or you want to figure out like, or that thought, you want to figure out like if this thought is the first thought in existence, or if other people have similar thoughts, and if it's an idea that's widely accepted in general. You reading for yourself on these topics, discovering these things, is going to help you widely understand your existence, your soul's mission, what even is a soul's mission, all these beautiful things. You're going to learn from reading, and you're going to learn from reflection. So reading is fundamental, number 1. First thing that I wish I knew, because oh my God. So I've always been well read, but Jesus Christ, guys, the amount of information that just gets like thrown at you, it's like word vomit when you enter the spiritual community. You're like, what are all these things, right? It's overwhelming at times, and I was like really freaking out. Like when I first started my spiritual journey, I was like, what's going on? What is this? What is that? And so it was really overwhelming. But after a while, instead of just like looking at post after post after post, like social media like literally feeds you, I decided to slow down, one concept at a time, and now here I am, kind of like the Library of Alexandria, but toot my own horn. I'm kidding. I wish I was, though. But yeah, that's what I wish I knew, because it would have been a lot easier to begin with. The second thing I wish I knew was that every mentor is not your mentor. Literally, okay, I've had good experiences, I've had bad experiences, I've had in between when it comes to spiritual mentors. So keep in mind that you may enjoy the content that other spiritualists put out, but their teachings, what they teach specifically, might not be for you. I know that for me personally, as a death witch and someone that explores like the darkness of existence, I'm not for everyone. I'm not for everyone's cup of tea. People might love to learn from me. People might love to, watch my videos, get a good grasp on, you know, my articles, my blogs, and you know, think of like, you know, take in my theories, my philosophy, and just keep that information with them. But a lot of people won't work with it, and I know that, you know, and I implore everyone to explore what works for them. I implore everyone to explore different people to help you on your spiritual journey, because try as you might, you can't do it alone. And I know that you can't do it alone because you're watching this video. And I know that you can't do it alone because I couldn't do it alone. And a whole bunch of other people couldn't do it alone. A lot of these people, a lot of spiritualists on YouTube or TikTok or Twitter, whatever, a lot of these spiritualists actually had mentors of their own or have mentors of their own and currently are working with a mentor. So find one, but the one that works for you, your overall beliefs and what you're gravitated towards in regards to philosophy, your own personal philosophy. But just in general, to recap that point, you may enjoy other spiritualists' content, but they might not speak your soul's language. So you need to find a mentor that speaks your soul's language. Point blank, period. Also, I do want to say beware of false prophets that spew hate. Spew hate and misinformation, first and foremost. There's just a lot out there, and especially because there's a lot of concepts in the spiritual realm and like general. There's a lot of concepts that stem from sexism, misogyny, misogynoir, white supremacy, a lot of these really terrible things that happen. Transphobia, you know, like a lot of these really bad, I don't know, ways of thinking. I really don't want to call them lifestyles, but that might be the word too. A lot of spiritual, well, yeah, they're a little hidden, I don't know, scums of the earth in the spiritual community that you have to be mindful of and aware of, that are hard to spot because they're draped in mysticism. So yeah, every mentor is not your mentor. Which leads me to my third point: beware of white supremacy. So this falls into a little concept, a little spiritual concept that a lot of people know of. It's called starseeds. Now listen, if you don't know about starseeds, I really, really, really hope that you can research on your own about what starseeds are. Okay, when I first got into, because it's like crazy. Not crazy in the sense they're like, it's fun, you know, but it's more of like, okay, but underneath that fun is a lot of fucked up shit, you know? So research that on your own. But I got into starseeds because like, oh my god, aliens, I love aliens, you know? But like, Jesus, and plus like, aliens with dying worlds that like the souls had to come to Earth, oh my god, you know? Like, that's a cool ass concept. I was so like dragged in, I was pulled, I was snatched up in that. But listen, it's white supremacy. It's just another form of the Aryan race deal. So make sure that you do your research on that, because it's so terrible, and I wish it wasn't. I so wish that it was just like a little personality test or whatever, but it's not. And that's how they get you. It's really fun and really creative and really, I don't know, backed up to the point of consideration is what I'll say. But yeah, there are other white supremacist ideas out there, including like, I don't know, like books and articles kind of dismissing the idea of like ethnic cultural practices and saying, oh, this is wrong and this is the right way, and they point to like, I don't know, Nordic practices or whatever, and they're like, oh, these people had it right, but it's really just white supremacy. I'm not dismissing anyone's culture, by the way. I'm just saying that a lot of these you should probably look out for. Number 4, beware of sexism. So this has been like a most recent thing, so I haven't been like blinded by this. I've been like seeing it everywhere and like hoping and praying that my clients don't fall into this trap. It's not demonic. Demonic. That was the hoodoo coming out of me, the churchian coming out of me. Anyway, so what's been going on lately has been the misuse of the terms divine feminine and divine masculine. And oh my god, guys, when I tell you, like, these fake woke people are just coming in and swooping up these terms, not even knowing what the fuck they're about, and being like, yeah, this is what the divine feminine looks like. It's literally just a traditional housewife. And when I mean traditional, I mean patriarchal housewife. Like, I don't know. This is looking real 1950s, if you're asking me, you know? So, let's just be aware that that's going on. Especially, like, with these terms. They're focusing too much on the feminine and the masculine, whatever. That's really not at all what these are about. Especially since these terms don't have a gender. The divine feminine and divine masculine describe energies, not genders, not sexes. None of the biological shit that we like discussed today that everyone's so like hung up over. It's not that. It's really just the energy that you put out. So like masculine energy would be like, say I wanted to do something healthy for the day. I go out and run a mile. That's the divine masculine in me taking charge. But say I still want to do something healthy today. I make a smoothie. That's the divine feminine in me taking charge. Or I do yoga. That's the divine feminine in me taking charge. Slowing down, making sure that my energy is preserved. My energy is put out the way that I want it to be put out. And, you know, my energy is being fulfilled. The divine masculine is more like my energy is being put out the way that I want it to be put out. My energy is being seen. My energy is being accepted. And I mean accepted in a way where it's like law, like you're conquering whatever your energy touches. Those are the two things that are really being put forth when we talk about divine feminine and the divine masculine. So beware, and that was just a really, really, really simple way of putting it. Not even like concise. So take that with a grain of salt, but that's what we're talking about when we say divine feminine, divine masculine. Not woman, man, traditional housewife, traditional working man, I don't know, working class man type of vibe. So if you see that anywhere in regards to like talking about femininity or whatever, and someone uses divine feminine, they're just trying to pull you in. It's just a cash grab because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And you can count on me for that one. You can quote me for that. So the 5th thing that I wish that I knew before I started my spiritual journey was that it's okay to disagree. Now, you might, when you first start, you know, your spiritual journey, you might be in like a lot of like conversations that are like, yes, this, yes, this, yes, this, yes, this. But when you see something that you don't agree with necessarily, and you say no, I actually think this, you're going to be bombarded. You're going to be ridiculed. You're going to be like, you need to leave. You know, like, you know that video? Yeah, you're going to get ostracized quickly because a lot of people a lot of people, when you give them a different perspective, they immediately shut it down. And that's just the way that human beings work, I've realized. It's not necessarily like a spiritual or non-spiritual thing. It's just a lot of people like being comfortable, and what they're comfortable with is what they already know. So when you say no to what they already know, and you make them think, oh shit, wait, maybe I don't know about this sort of thing, they immediately reject you. They immediately reject it and continue on living their life in ignorance, because ignorance is bliss, right? So a lot of people don't like perspective changes, and that is okay. But you need to know that it is okay to disagree, and it's okay for you to come to your own conclusion about certain ideas and certain ideologies and, morals and beliefs that, you want to believe in and like take on with you throughout your life. Part of being spiritual is forming your own opinions and developing, your research and philosophy ideas. Or philosophy skills, sorry. So because of this, you're bound to disagree with someone. And that's okay. Even if, the person you're disagreeing with is some well-known author, some well-known poet, some well-known content creator, spiritualist, as long as your opinion is well-informed, number one, well-informed, and two, respectful, it really just doesn't, the rest doesn't matter. That's really all that matters, is if your opinion is well-informed and if your opinion is respectful. So it's okay for you to disagree, and it's okay that when you get bombarded, and you will, that it's okay to accept that that's probably just not the place that you need to be in. So the sixth and last thing that I wish I knew before I started my spiritual journey is that spirituality does not have a certain look. You don't have to fit into the spiritual aesthetic if you don't want to. There's no certain way to be spiritual, because everyone's spiritual journey is their own. Everyone's spiritual journey is catered and tailored to them. But the reason why the spiritual aesthetic exists is because a lot of spiritualists are, they have similar interests. They like, say the clothes, for instance. They like clothes that are, that don't harm the earth, so they stay away from fast fashion and start, thrifting and getting homemade goods, or high quality artisan clothes or whatever. So they might have a friend that crochets, or they might start crocheting, or they might start sewing home goods. They might start getting homemade clothing, and that's what produces the fashion statement that spiritualists like to I don't know, present themselves with. With the crystals and everything, a lot of spiritualists like crystals. A lot of spiritualists don't. A lot of spiritualists think that crystals and other sorts of gemstones are pointless. And that's okay too, because it's okay to disagree as long as your opinion is well informed. Anyway, a lot of spiritualists have plants too, because they believe in bringing life to spaces. A lot of spiritualists, like to eat fruits and veggies because they believe in bringing life into themselves. A lot of spiritualists like to read. A lot of spiritualists like to drink water because they believe health is wealth. And especially oh, what's that one saying? Something about the mind. Knowledge is power. Yep, knowledge is power. The spiritualists believe that too. That's why they read a lot of books. That's why you can always find a spiritualist reading something at some point in time. And that's something I'll stand on. Spiritualists are always reading something, and they're 9 times out of 10 it's a really interesting book. So if you have a spiritual friend, ask them what they're reading. Or you might be that spiritual friend. What are you currently reading? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, but yeah, that aesthetic is an accumulation of things that, or like ideas that a lot of spiritualists subscribe to. So it's not necessarily just like this is what spirituality looks like. It's more of like these are the beliefs that spiritualists believe in. These are the morals that spiritualists stand by, and therefore their life starts to sort of reflect that, and that's where the spiritual aesthetic comes from. However, yours does not need to look like that. If you go on Pinterest and look up spiritual aesthetic and it doesn't match you, that's okay, because your spiritual journey is tailored to you. So whatever you feel like putting out, whatever ideas you subscribe to, whatever way that you want to live, whatever lifestyle that you want to live, that is also spiritual. And it doesn't have to look any other way, because it's yours, right? Your life is yours, so your spiritual journey is yours, right? So don't be upset if you don't like have everything as a spiritualist seems to have. If you don't have incense burning all the time, if you don't have Palo Santo or like rosemary smoke kit, it's okay. If you really want one, get one. If you really want one, I don't know, grow one. Grow rosemary, dry it out. There you go, braid it, whatever. But just don't think that it has to be like that. Don't think that if you're not subscribing to all these things, if you're not getting all these like tools and materials, that you're not spiritual, because spiritualism is not materialism. Sure, they might intertwine at some point or the other, but ultimately, spiritualism is its own thing. And you don't have to have anything to be spiritual. You can just be yourself. You can have yourself, your thoughts, and your soul, and be completely fine on your spiritual journey. It might be harder because, you know, tools are tools and they work well, but all you need is really yourself. I guess I'll leave it at that. So yeah, those are the 6 things that I wish I knew before I started my spiritual journey. Because honestly, I feel like my life would be so much easier. I would be so much further ahead if I didn't take those steps, but I knew that I had to take those steps so we can learn from them, you know, because yeah, you might have like someone say, hey, don't do this or whatever, but you'll never know why until you go through it, right? So yeah, let me know in the comments what's 1 or 2 things that you wish you knew before starting your spiritual journey. Let's see, I write blogs. So check out my Tumblr, check out my website, because I often post, I guess, more thought out versions of my Tumblr post on my actual website, on my blog page. So check both of those out. What else is there? Oh, my social media links will be down in the description. I can't speak. I've been speaking this whole time for about 30 minutes now, and now my words are jumbling up. Anyway, yeah, social media links down in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please subscribe, because I make videos weekly. But yeah, I post every week, sometimes twice every week if you're lucky. And yeah, I guess that's it. I guess that's it. All right, well, thank you guys for watching this video. I know that it might be a bit long, but it really does mean a lot to me that you watch these videos, because I put time and effort into them. And so when people watch them and like actually enjoy them, it warms my heart. And so, yeah, thank you for watching, and thank you so much for being here. I love you guys. Bye.